We're live. We're very, very live. Don't trip up. Very good. How are you? Cold outside, isn't it? Thank you for being with us. What are you all here for? Who? It's amazing, isn't it? Just a few weeks ago, really, she was doing her A-levels in Bromley. Nobody knew who Emma was. Now she's just got one name. It's incredible. Listen, welcome to the Royal Albert Hall. As Guy has just been saying, truly an iconic venue. It never gets old walking out here. This is a space where Winston Churchill spoke, Muhammad Ali boxed, Sinatra sang, the suffragettes met when they weren't allowed to meet anywhere else. They strategized here. And of course, just a few weeks ago, the Royal British Legion Festival of Remembrance. So it's a wonderful place. And I'm really sorry to say that this is the last year of Champions Tennis. The players adore playing here. And we hope that another venue can be found, even if it's not as spectacular as this. I must welcome viewers as well around the United Kingdom, as well as all the photographers. Where have you been all week? See? Emma turns up, and the snappers are here. Of course, Buster, we know you're always here. So welcome, everybody. The BBC Sport website is carrying this. The red button is carrying it. I think we're on iPlayer as well, if they don't make you do that silly registration thing and you give up. With respect to my bosses at the BBC. And we're on the Champions Tennis website as well. A little bit later on, Nicolas Almagro of Spain, former number 9 in the world, playing with David Ferrer, the former French Open finalist. Mansour Bahrami will be with us alongside Michael Pernfors. That is going to be spectacular, and I hope very much you enjoy that. Mansour is moving well. He was playing with Emma yesterday. It was fantastic. He loved it. Everybody has loved watching the arrival of this young woman. As I say, who was doing her A-levels a few months ago. She came into Wimbledon, won her first 3 matches, made the second week, struggled on that fourth round match. Even some criticism from 1 or 2 colleagues of myself, but it wasn't really criticism, it was just an observation. What did Emma do? She went ahead, she learned. She went on to the American hard courts, got ready for a run at the US Open, came through qualifying. That would be good enough. But then she just, I mean, you're not supposed to do this. She won 7 matches in a row without dropping a set. So that was 20 sets, 10 matches. Thank you very much. Pockets the winner's check and changes her life forever. She is fantastic. So let's just go back a few weeks now to those 3 weeks in the Big Apple, New York City, and the US Open. This is a little bit of Emma Raducanu's title run.
She went 10 rounds without dropping a set. She came in here ranked 150 in the world, and she leaves the U.S. Open champion. Say hello to Emma Raducanu.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a few memories from New York. There were 9 matches before that were pretty amazing to watch. She's going to love this stage. Both players are. So enjoy the match. It's 2 sets in the Champions tiebreak if it goes to third. Please welcome Elena Gabriela Ruse of Romania and from Bromley, Emma Raducanu.
An incredible occasion, a wonderful sight to see the US Open champion, a big smile across her face, Emma Raducanu. She is back on British soil, playing her first match since that incredible run to the title at Flushing Meadows. Alongside her, Elena, Gabriela Ruse, who cites Raducanu as her best friend on tour. Romanian player, 85 in the world. They've never played each other in a match situation, but they have practiced together through the course of this year. They've been friends for a couple of years. What a wonderful sight, the iconic venue that is the Royal Albert Hall, for the final time hosting Champions Tennis, which is part of the ATP Champions Tour. We have a full schedule of matches for you throughout the course of today, but our focus starts with this exhibition match between Elena Gabriela Ruse, just disappearing from your picture there, and alongside her, good friend Emma Raducanu. Gigi Salmon and Claire Curran with you in the commentary box today, and just a smile on your face, Claire, as you witness the reception for Raducanu at the Royal Albert Hall.
Well, it's quite a homecoming,
Please
isn't
welcome
it?
on
And
court
to think that,
Jason
as Andrew was
Kerr
saying
from
beforehand, just a couple of
who will
months
be
ago,
conducting
she was
the
doing her
coin
A-levels,
toss
and
for
not
this
forget
match.
passing her driving test, more importantly. But what a whirlwind it has been for her, and it's beautiful to see her smiling the way she is, and she will love this afternoon.
It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. It always is here when tennis is played at the Royal Albert Hall. It's great to see the smiles on the faces of these very good friends. I'm sure there'll be a few nerves as well. It's a wonderful venue. It's quite intimidating with the spectators so close.
Absolutely, and with Emma, you know, she's obviously had to deal with so much in terms of having to deal with those nerves, and obviously playing in New York and the stadiums were full, and obviously playing for a Grand Slam. But walking onto this venue today, it is intimidating. It's a beautiful venue to play on, but I think we'll see her smile a lot and hopefully enjoy this.
It takes them less than 24 hours to transform the Royal Albert Hall from a concert venue into an international sports centre. Now, this match is going to be the best of 3 sets. If it does end up level at a set apiece, it will then be a champions tiebreak, 1st to 10, to decide the outcome. Maybe for some, a first chance to see Elena Gabriela Ruse, who was 159 in the world in December last year. But for others, will have come to know Emma Raducanu. As Andrew Castle said, it's incredible that after everything she's done, already being known and going by the name of just Emma.
Well, it's very, very hard to explain, isn't it? Even for people who play tennis, the greats of the game, they can't even put words to what Emma achieved a couple of months ago. Obviously winning that US Open, 7 matches, didn't drop a set within that, and to be so young. But also, if you look, Gigi, at what was happening before that, she was sitting her A-level, she had to go through COVID, and she spent so much time at home, basically locked into her study, making sure that she got those grade A's in the A-levels. But she burst onto the scene so quickly, and to be able to find that level, physically, mentally, and her game, and to produce the tennis that she did in New York, I just think it's something with which we will be extremely privileged if we ever see anything like that again.
Wonderful smile on the face there of Elena Gabriela Ruse, who is introduced to the crowd. And now let's have a listen to the introduction of the US Open champion.
Open champion of the USA, the first qualifier to win a slam in the Open era, beating Leylah Fernandez, not dropping a set. Only her 2nd major. Indeed, she's only played in 7 senior tournaments. Currently ranked 19 in the world. Emma recently appointed Angelique Kerber's former coach, Torben Beltz, to her team. In Emma's words, things are looking up and very positive. I'm excited about the work to come, as are we all. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Raducanu.
It's a wonderful reception for both players. Emma Raducanu, who in November last year was 343 in the world. She's now at a career high of 19, and she went into that US Open run at 150 in the world. And we talk about things being life-changing. I start to feel with Emma Raducanu that that doesn't actually cover what's happened to her in the last few months.
Well, no, obviously, since she won in New York, there's been a huge amount of media interest. The agents have been exceptionally busy. There's been a lot more endorsements, and this is something with which she has embraced. I don't think she's gone overboard with it at all, and she's been very, very clear that tennis is the priority in training sessions. And from the training sessions that I've seen Emma Raducanu do over the years, she very, very, very rarely slips up, misses a ball. She is so focused all the time, and I don't think that's something with which will discontinue now that she is where she is in the world in terms of her status in tennis and everything that's going to come with it. But it's taken an incredible amount of hard work to do what she achieved in New York, and I'm glad that she's really had a good opportunity over the last couple of weeks and months to also enjoy it, because that's important. And Andy Murray talked about that as well once he won his first Grand Slam. Wished that he had been able to enjoy it a little bit more, and I hope that Emma has had that chance.
Well, she's recently come back from her first holiday in 7 years.
Yeah. It's young tennis.
It looked quite nice as well.
Well, young tennis players that aspire to be at the very, very top of the game. There isn't a lot of time, is there, for holidays? They've been training from a very, very young age, making a lot of sacrifices, and yeah, she looked like she was pretty handy on a jet ski.
The tennis calendar is a long one. It feels that pre-season gets smaller and smaller as it is. Anyway, we still have the Davis Cup taking place, and we have this exhibition. There's the exhibition in Abu Dhabi that Emma Raducanu and Andy Murray will be taking part in. She'll be facing the Olympic champion there, Belinda Bencic. So it doesn't leave you a lot of time to regroup and go again, which is why she said taking that holiday recently was very, very important, just to switch off even just for a few days.
And of course it's all new for Emma. She doesn't have 5 years experience to think about the mistakes she made in the past and try to rectify them. She is really starting off and having to set the bar very, very high in terms of what she does and the decisions that she makes right now. But it's excellent that she has taken that holiday, and I'm sure that exhibition match coming up, I don't think Emma really understands probably what the word exhibition means. This will be new to her, playing a match which isn't worth points or great deals of money. This is very new to her, with a crowd as well that is going to be right behind her. And I hope and I expect that the tennis is one thing, but playing with a smile and enjoying yourself out there, I think that's also going to be a very important factor in today.
It's finding that balance, because I imagine the competitor in you, and you confirm this for me, Claire, whenever you step out onto that court, you want to win.
Yes, and we actually saw these two warming up before they went on court today, and I can tell you, Gigi, it was a competitive warm-up, and Ruse at one point took on one of Emma's second serves and sent a pretty harsh message down, so expect more.
Yeah, it was nice to see those pictures. Emma Raducanu just walked out on her own onto the court here at the Royal Albert Hall. There was no team, I think people are envisaging that she is sort of flanked by an army of people, but she just walked out with her racket bag.
Which is unique, and all players that are at the very, very top of the game, and even players that are trying to get to the top of the game nowadays, they have such huge entourages. They have the fitness trainer, they have the physio with them, they'll have the agent with them, they may have a hitting partner and a coach. But no, Emma Raducanu walked on to court today, and it was just her and her little racket bag.
It certainly was, and the players sat on the same side of the umpire's chair having a chat. There were photos at the end, there's smiles between the two. But now they have to sit either side of the umpire's chair. Looking forward to this, a first meeting in a match situation between Emma Raducanu, the 19-year-old, having turned 19 recently, against her good friend, the Romanian Elena Gabriela Ruse. They practiced recently at the Transylvania Open. A little bit of a pre-match chat there between the two. Well, smiles all round, and I think we're ready to begin.
I think it's fair to say that Emma's starting off there with her favourite pattern. Her favourite serve, cross-court, into the juice port, and then down the line. We'll see many of those today.
It's lovely to see the smiling. We'll see much more of it. But we have to remember that during that run, the US Open in Flushing Meadows, we saw a lot of Emma Raducanu embracing her situation, embracing the crowd, and a lot of smiling.
Yes, there was. And she managed every situation so well when she was in New York. I think for both players walking onto the court today, as much as they're smiling, their legs are going to feel really heavy. For Ruse, this is an unusual environment, obviously, for her to play in. She doesn't have that experience playing in the big stadiums, as Raducanu has already had. So expect just a little bit of settling time.
She's made more appearances than Raducanu at Grand Slams, one more in 3, but yet to get past the first round on that particular stage. Just listen to the photographer's lenses every time a Raducanu strikes that ball. There's the 1-2 punch from Raducanu that she favours off the wide serve. And as we mentioned, there will be nerves aplenty, but that will have settled a few of them getting that first service game under her belt.
Well, yes, and there's 2 balls that she hit 2 winners, one on the forehand down the line, one on the backhand down the line. She's just giving the thumbs up. That was a good first game, she's saying to Ruse. But that is what the foundations of Emma's game have been so far. It's been the ability to be able to change direction. She does it so well. She takes the ball early on top of the bounce, and she sees the spaces. And what we saw in New York was a young player who was willing to be so aggressive, but also played with such high margins and was so tactically astute as well.
Lovely change-up from the Romanian.
Yes, nice contrast of skills here, being able to play the drop shot and the lob. And you have to remember, Gigi, that both players have had a little bit of a break from playing on the tour. And although the season is very long and there isn't a lot of gaps between them, they won't feel physically as fit as usual. Ruse just saying there that this is already pretty exhausting. And it's Ruse that's having to do all the running right now. Emma's looking very comfortable on the court, just exchanging those ground strokes cross court and then down the line. But again, not going for too much, just making her opponent suffer.
Great play from the Romanian.
Wonderful play, and this is why the Romanian loves to play on the grass courts. The ability to be able to take the ball so early and just changing direction. Emma not able to read that. Andrew Castle made a good point, didn't he, when he said that we now know her just by the one name. And there's very few players that have that accolade.
People in the world have that.
Serena, Venus. Any more?
Roger and Rafa.
I knew you'd come up trumps with that, but yeah, very few players obviously on tour are known by their first name, and as us as commentators we normally call them by their surnames, but it seems quite natural, doesn't it, saying Emma? Will we continue? We will see.
Natural but strange at the same time.
Outstanding point here. It's good to see Ruse coming into the net there very early in that point. And these matches as well are great opportunities for players to improve skills that they may not normally use on the tour or thinking about for next year as well.
Quite close to her career high, Ruse. She was 83 in the world last month, currently sitting at 85. Really has been her breakthrough year on the tour with 2 finals and the title at Hamburg. Lives in Bucharest.
Once again, Emma Raducanu just looks so comfortable in a totally new environment and a new experience. She's settled so nicely into this match.
Just found it.
Thread at the needle. I thought she'd just missed it, actually.
An opportunity to get an early break of serve for the US Open champion. Playing her first match on British soil since that US Open win. There it is.
And it is great to see this side of Raducanu on the court as well. The sociable side, the side that really enjoying. Obviously, you can see how much she enjoys the game, but also friendships that she has on the tour. And this is going to be important for her at such a young age in her career as well, to really enjoy her time out there and to make some good friends. But you just see that just very comfortable with every situation that really presents itself.
What a pick-up from Raducanu.
Well, I can say she will never do that in a main tour match. If she does, I think she'd get in a bit of trouble.
I don't need fitness after this match. Pre-season, let's go. Come on, buddy.
Ruse is saying she doesn't need pre-season after this match. And she might be right if the rallies continue like this.
Well, she's playing against a human backboard right now. Raducanu's not giving any unforced errors away and absorbing the pace.
She said she was going to do it.
13.
Well, I'm glad she missed that, because if I tried that, I 100% would miss. Putting too much pressure on myself.
Pick up the ball, please. Thank you.
Excellent, getting great hands from the Romanian.
Well, she needed them, didn't she, right here? I love this shot. Emma plays into the box. It's so tricky to deal with this. But wonderful hand skills getting underneath that ball, finding the topspin.
I'm not sure.
Game, Raducanu.
There's a consolidation of the break for Emma Raducanu.
Raducanu is 3 games to 0.
It's been a good first start by both players. I think they've now decided to sit alongside each other. We saw that during the warm-up. This is an exhibition match. First time they meet in a match situation, but they are good friends. But it's Raducanu with the 3-love lead. Another good thing to see here at Royal Albert Hall is the amount of children that are here watching, because that's been a big thing for Elena Raducanu, has spoken about this, that she wants her success and hopefully continued success to encourage younger children, boys and girls, to get into the sport and to see someone like Emma Raducanu. I think calling someone a role model, it's quite a lot of pressure to put on someone, but there will be so many people looking at her. And you'll know the numbers better than me, but the uptake in tennis since that US Open win, you can't get into clubs, onto courts. People want to be like Emma Raducanu.
Of course, and you know, it's come at a great time as well, because obviously in this country and around the world, tennis has been the sport that has come out really on top of the COVID crisis, in terms of that was the sport that players went to. Clubs became very busy, park courts became very busy, and then obviously Emma Raducanu went and won the US Open. And I know, having 3 daughters myself, that what impression she has made. My youngest one calls her Emma Americano.
Is it one of your daughters in a tennis tournament today?
Yes, she is, and they all play tennis actually, but and you notice that with them. You notice that whenever obviously the US Open was going on, they were glued to the screens, they were watching her, they were talking about her during the week in school with their friends, and she has become a huge role model.
I mean, it transcended tennis.
It did, and it's not just obviously the tennis, but it's the fact that she's stayed in school and she's done so well in her A levels, and she's exceptionally grounded.
Highlight with Emma Raducanu, people knowing her for winning the US Open, but she had no tour-level experience. It wasn't she had a little bit, she had no tour-level experience.
She played one tournament in Nottingham just a couple of weeks beforehand. She lost to Harriet Dart in the first round, and what she did obviously at Wimbledon in the 4th round, but what she learned as well so quickly, and I think that's what we're all pretty mesmerised by. And she still has so much learning to do, and I think that's the bit that is going to be the most important aspect of just the public and everybody just giving her that time to breathe and giving her the time to not just grow in terms of her age, but also grow on the tennis court, grow as a person, and not put too much pressure on her.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because when you do something like she did by winning the US Open, how she did it, coming from 150 in the world, there is suddenly all this weight of expectation, and it's up to her and the team around it to manage it, which it seems that so far they're doing just nicely.
I think so. I mean, I think that there's always going to be little hiccups along the way, expect that, but the decisions that they've made up until this point in her career, from coaches to staying in school, it's been a very, very different pathway for Emma, but the decisions seem to have really paid off.
She's shown some really good touch, Elena Gabriela Ruse.
Yeah, tricky shot to play, seeing Emma right behind the baseline there.
She's on the board, the 24-year-old. They did practice ahead of the Transylvania Open, as we mentioned. It went quite viral on YouTube because it was such an intense practice session. It was watched by a lot of crowds before Unfortunately, the event had to go behind closed doors. They also practiced earlier in the year. A lot of shots of them at tournaments. They practiced together at Indian Wells.
And this slice backhand of Emma Raducanu's, it's quite impressive. She's able to keep it low, but her ability as well to be able to change direction with it, play it down the line, but short down the line she loves to play, and that's a tricky spot for a player to be in. It's a fierce return of serve there, hard through the middle of the court. She's found a nice blend in this match. Emma enjoying herself but staying really focused, not giving up these unforced errors and making her opponent move with these change of directions.
Yeah, Ruse trying to tell herself to let's go, but it's Emma Raducanu still with the break and the 4-1 lead.
Raducanu leads 4-1.
This time they will return to separate sides of the umpire's chair.
The Ambulance Community Trust has been helping good causes for over 30 years.
I think you talked to the start, Claire, about we talk about how life-changing it is, the sponsors, the deals, and everything that's come with it. But Emma Raducanu has been very quick to say, nothing will distract me from the court, from my tennis. You know, yes, there are a lot of commitments, but it is the tennis that comes first.
And look, I 100% believe her when she says that. It's the way in which Emma has been brought up, and I've never ever seen anything any different from her. And as I said, that when she trains at the National Tennis Centre, and I've seen her over especially last year as well, you watch her train and she has this mentality that every single ball counts, and there's the focus to have that in a training session, and the way that we talk about Rafael Nadal has that. She has it to some degree the same way, maybe not bringing the same physicality as Nadal, but she is so focused onto every ball, and you notice it when you walk past her, that you recognise that is a player who is going somewhere. And Johanna Konta is very much the same, and of course you've had that presence as well. Emma will have had that presence on the courts of seeing players like her, and she just knows what she had to bring to reach this level. And certainly, Gigi, in terms of British tennis, I mean, when we think about the last decade especially, because I think prior to that we were having a little bit of a famine in terms of top players at the very top of the game, but you look back to 2012 when it was a young Laura Robson that really broke through, and Heather Watson as well.
I don't think Ruse can believe it.
I think there's a bit of work to do at those points. Barami's on next, and you might give a little bit of an exhibition on it.
Trying to catch her off guard with the serve.
Brilliant play there. That's a little bit of your own medicine Emma Raducanu's having to deal with there.
13-50.
You think back to those days, obviously prior to Laura Robson, and there wasn't a lot to talk about really. I think it was Sam Smith that had made the 4th round of Wimbledon 14 years before Laura Robson stepped up in 2012 and made her 4th round at a Grand Slam. But you know, after that, the success has been coming. Heather won obviously Wimbledon in the mixed doubles, and then you had Johanna Konta, who has made the semi-finals of 3 of the 4 Grand Slams.
They can both take a bow after that point.
Let's see, can we use a little bit more of the court? This is brilliant use of all the dimensions of the court. That is big striking.
14-30.
Likes to take it early when she can, Ruse.
The difficulty is that when you're playing Raducanu, she doesn't allow you to do that. She doesn't allow you to get that first strike in.
They started bringing in time violations at exhibition match, we'd have all sorts of problems. Just a reminder, this is best of 3 sets. Should it be a set apiece, it would then come down to a champions tiebreak, first to 10 points.
Once again, just a creative blend of tennis right here. And we talked a little bit, Gigi, there. Mentioned it pre-season. Pre-season, something that she won't have had to go through very often, but she's about to start it, and she started just a couple of days ago, but it's going to be a tough couple of weeks for her A lot of tennis. Every player's worst nightmare, that pre-season.
It's funny, whatever sport you're dealing with, they all say the same things. In football, they say they hate it. It's just running. They step out to train. There's not football boots, there are running shoes.
I should clarify that, because I think, and I'm sure there are certain players that actually really enjoy it and relish it, but there's no question it's a lot of hard work and doing the same thing often. And all these players want to do is compete. They love that.
Oh, it's a beauty from Raducanu.
It's not an easy shot to execute. You see how she really cuts around the side of the ball there, getting that backspin. Just a good racket head control to execute.
And it means she's got the double break. The 5-1 lead. Ruse wants some support as Raducanu steps up to serve for the set. Again, it's that aggressive court positioning of the Romanian.
And we've seen some glimpses of just how heavy a ball strike the Romanian has. And there it is again.
Oh, just got bigger and bigger off the return of serve.
That's fairly intimidating, isn't it? All Emma can do is absorb that pressure. Yep.
She's jumping around on Ruse. Takes 30 workers 13.5 hours to lay.
It's good timing.
It's impressive.
It is impressive. They started with the clock. Started and then pressed off at the end, 13.5 hours. That's a record in the 24 years it's been here.
And there's an ace from Raducanu to level herself up at 30 all. And what pressure from Ruse. Opportunities to get one of the breaks back.
Oh, she got in her head there, didn't she?
How could she not? Look how far up she was.
Well, she's trying different things, isn't she, the Romanian? She knows that she just can't stay back and allow Emma to dictate play.
13-14.
Still got another opportunity here to get one of these breaks back. Of this young man. Got the feet moving, he's ready.
It was out.
Getting some on-court coaching. Good contact.
He doesn't want to go.
He's still moving. I like the feet. As a coach, Claire, you'd approve of this?
Definitely. Ready position's perfect. Oh, there it is.
Hey. He's got it. He's got the break.
He must have been watching Greg Rosetsky all week. It's a chip and charge. That's brilliant net play.
Yeah, quite literally net play, holding on to it for dear life. It doesn't matter. There's the break. Congratulations to that young man. He'll remember that for a fair while. He has broken the serve of the US Open champion Emma Raducanu.
Yeah, it was a brilliant call by Ruse there, wasn't it? Pulling him out of the crowd, recognising the ability that he has, and knowing that tactic of coming forward, playing in the net, it might disrupt the rhythm of Emma Raducanu. Well played. Has been played in such good spirit this match, and before the match we were talking about what would it be like for Emma coming onto this court, how would she play this match, and she hasn't been used to playing exhibition tennis, and it's a very, very different style because obviously you've got to try to play your best tennis. The British public here, they are expecting, they want to see the best, and I think we've been able to see that from Emma, but we've seen it so far with a big smile. But credit to her opponent that she's playing with. I think it's been a very, very smart choice playing against somebody who is such a good friend, but also a great opportunity for Ruse, who, as you said, Gigi, has had a terrific year and her ranking's been moving up, so hopefully more great things to come for her in the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just handing out bananas. There we go, that's done. And I think she'll be holding on to the racket. See if she can keep this set alive, serving at 2-5. I think she's won over a few more fans within the Royal Albert Hall, this wonderful venue which is hosting Champions Tennis for the final time.
Let's 30.
I like to see Ruse coming into the net, but also in this match, Raducanu's shot selection, whenever she does come in, she's not trying to blast the winner, she's just trying to play softly down, maybe look for the lob after, just developing those skills.
That's a good serve that set it up for Ruse. And again, some very soft hands that the Romanian possesses.
And the drop shot is so effective on this court. You can see that when the ball lands in those service boxes, it almost dies. Very, very tricky to run that down. Maybe even more so at the beginning of pre-season. A couple of weeks, they'll be picking those up, no problem whatsoever.
It's an opportunity to close out this first set, played out of the best of 3 for the US Open champion. That's the way to save a set point.
Ace number 1.
She's doing so.
I love that. Did you just notice that Ruse takes that serve from wide on the juice court serving, and that's something Emma does a lot. Doesn't stand so close to the tee, stands further out and gives herself an opportunity to hit more of an angle with that serve.
Some good serving from the Romanian. We'll ask the question once again of Emma Raducanu. Second opportunity now to close out this set. She'll be in Abu Dhabi next month at the exhibition there. Mubadala World Tennis Championship. She'll face the Olympic champion Belinda Bencic.
Yeah, of course she played on her way to that title run in New York, and Bencic, like so many other players after the match, just almost felt like she did the walk of shame off the court, just nodding her head, just no idea what had happened to her out there.
Raducanu said, at first I'd never felt a ball like that on my racket coming from Belinda Bencic, but then, as she has done so often, she just figured it out. And you would see opponent after opponent just visibly crumble.
Well, she's so prepared, Raducanu, whenever she goes on court to play against every single player that she's up against. And of course, the players that she was playing against don't have as much material then to study. But she found the weaknesses in all of them and exploited it.
Set points. And there it is, that's the first set. Goes the way of the US Open champion, 19-year-old Emma Raducanu, playing her first match on British soil since that win at Flushing Meadows. And she closes out the set against good friend Elena Gabriela Ruse by 6 games to 3. In terms of the Raducanu announcements, they were almost daily at one point, whether it was a sponsor or something's happening, or she is no longer working with one coach, she's moving to another, etc., etc. We know she went to Indian Wells, didn't have a coach in place, and a lot of people, Claire, were looking at that appointment. Who was it going to be? Who would you go with? And she made it very clear, as we're just getting a few of the stats from the first set, that she wanted someone with tour experience, because that is something that she's lacking in.
Yes, and I think she obviously took a lot of time to make that decision, but Torben Beltz, who she has appointed, obviously the long-term coach of Angelique Kerber. And you know, I think when you look at the decisions that Emma's made in terms of her coaching, and there was one stage, I think for quite a few years, she didn't really have a coach in place. Ali Filmer was her first coach, coached her until she was 14 years of age. He did a terrific job with her. I think now doing a terrific job with so many juniors in Great Britain. But after that, she had a hitting partner in Matt James, who was appointed from the LTA. She was overseen by Jane O'Donoghue at the LTA, who did a terrific job with her, and I still know has really good contact with Emma and the family. But it was Nigel Sears was brought in, and he really cleaned up a lot of the technique in Emma Raducanu. We see the ground strokes that she hits, the forehand in particular. You know, he's given some shape to that, and he did a terrific job with that. But then again, she made the decision that she needed another coach and something a little bit different, and that was when Andrew Richardson was appointed just after Wimbledon. And I think Andrew, who is in the time that I've kind of known him, a terrific worker, so passionate about the game of tennis as well, and he's known and worked with Emma at a very young age. I think that trip after Wimbledon, it was key for her to spend that time with him, and he couldn't have done a better job, could he? But I think that the Emma Raducanu style is to take from a coach what you know, and then to move on and get something from another coach. And as coaches, we all have strengths that we bring. We all have maybe an element of, you know, something that we really specialise on. But Torben Beltz now, when you really think about what is it that he's going to bring to her game, well, you've got to look at the player as well that he's developed and worked with over the last decade. A world number one, a 3 times Grand Slam champion in Angelique Kerber. And Kerber is probably one of the greatest counter-punchers in the game, a terrific athlete like Emma, and an excellent service returner, and that's something that is really important for Emma's game. But I think that the element of the game that Beltz can really bring, the education, is really to be able to defend situations whenever somebody is attacking you. We haven't seen Emma in that situation yet, because in New York she was the one doing all the attacking, but that will come. Players will look to try to get that first strike, and I think this year is about finding the tools to deal with that and to improve and increase her level. The problem is she's such a fast learner that you might make yourself redundant pretty quickly.
She's gone from being the hunter to the hunted. Striking of the ball.
But I think what my friend and colleague used to say to me, Jane O'Donoghue, who was really in charge of her development in terms of an LTA perspective, she always said, Claire, I could leave her on the court with anybody, and you know, she'll learn from it. She just is very, very independent in the way in which she goes about her tennis and her training, and just very aware and in control of a lot of things going on, and it's unique. It's a great attribute to have as a player.
And that was a big thing for many people who maybe saw her for the first time during that run at Wimbledon to the round of 16, how she dealt with what happened there and turned it around. And we saw the outcome at Flushing Meadows. Early opportunity for the 19-year-old. like someone's car alarm in the background. You know when an alarm goes off and it stops, and it starts again.
She also, believe it or not, Emma, wasn't the #1 junior in the country, under 12 and under 14. She had a pretty big rival that I think was significant in her development as well. Because obviously you have somebody that you're continuing to push yourself, and her rival was somebody who was also being touted by all of the top agents in the game, and very much was a player who was also going to be up there making it.
It's good to have that rivalry. We've seen that with nations, and there's a group of players that can urge each other on. It can sometimes take the pressure off at the same time, because it's not just the spotlight on you.
Deuce.
Someone's trying to find the button, aren't they?
It's just such a good play, the way she takes this ball on top of the bounce. Terrific timing, executing down the line.
You know what she said? She said to play more on your forehead.
Well, we saw them having a little chat, didn't we, side by side at the end of that first set.
Emma's going to just say to herself, we'll see about that.
Well, she didn't listen to her de facto coach because she went to the backhand. And finally into the forehand side for the winner. So I say thank you very much for that advice. It was good advice. Little high five there. Okay, she got the ball passed on the forehand side. I think she may be recommending some coaching tips there at the change, and Ruse is on the board. Oh yeah, I think she's been, don't stand that side. You're giving me advice. I think though it's important. Rivalry is very, very healthy at whatever age you're at, and to have that, and for Emma Raducanu to have had that at a young age is so important.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Obviously, if you are the #1 player by a long way, you're a big fish in what could be a little pond. But there was another girl called Holly Fisher who was exceptional, one of the best juniors in the world. And Emma and Holly Fisher grew up together. I actually took them away to the under-14 Summer Cup team with Marnie Banks, who's currently playing on the tour, and another player, Kylie Bilchev, who's right now has just started her first year at Georgia Tech. But the two players, there was something a little bit obviously different in terms of them, in terms of the focus that they had and the mentality. And Holly Fisher was touted by all of the big agents around the world. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, she suffered a very bad injury and hasn't really been able to take off her tennis career. But I did notice that she was walking the catwalk for J.W. Anderson at the London Fashion Week, which, considering he has a father who is Northern Irish, and the great Willie Anderson, British and Irish Lions rugby player, I took note of that.
We've got Emma Raducanu, appearances at the Met Gala, signing contracts with fashion houses and jewellers.
Their paths may cross again.
Yeah, they might do. It's first love hold we've seen.
And you can see just how effective Ruse is when she takes the ball on as early as that. And it's her backhand that seems to be her most effective shot. It's a real weapon. Forehand's not bad as well. She's doing exactly the same thing on the forehand side as she did on the backhand.
Ruse said she was so impressed with Emma Raducanu when she was speaking in Romanian at the Transylvania Open. They've been friends for a while, and said she was slightly nervous about speaking in Romanian, but handled herself so well, as we've seen she has done through all these situations. I'm going to talk about Romanian tennis, women's tennis. I mean, for the last decade or so, it's been on the rise, led by Simona Halep, the idol of Ruse. That was her last match. She faced Halep, lost 1 and 2 in the Transylvania Open. But look at the number of players that Romania is producing.
Ruse has found her footing in this match, hasn't she?
I think that Ruse has made her own leap up the rankings in the last year or so. No, nothing can compare or come close to what Raducanu is doing, but still people will ask me, how did she do it? We heard at the beginning, the introduction, she won 7 matches in a row. She won 10. She came through qualifying. She was thinking about, I think the flights were booked for the end of qualifying. She came in at 150, and what she did, speaking to people within the game, most people still find it impossible to explain just how she did what she did, and all without dropping a set.
I don't think anybody will ever really be able to understand how she did that, but you know, obviously a great deal of self-belief. But I certainly know when watching the US Open that there was a stage in about the 2nd or 3rd round that looking at the draw, looking through the draw, I I felt that there was opportunities for her, and I was certainly feeling that the players that she was playing against, she had the game to beat them, and she has the ability to be able to find their weaknesses. He's in the hospitality.
I think he might be, because she's looking quite high up there. But she's found him.
Yes, I don't think, and I think that what we have to be very, very careful of is that we don't compare everything that Emma does from this moment on to what happened in New York, because it's going to be very, very different, and the opponents that she plays against are, will it be more prepared, but they're certainly going to be much more aware of her strengths and her game plays and the tactics that she uses. And this is why the development of Raducanu has got to just continue, and I think it will. When you look at the moment, Gigi, at Emma's points that she's made, she does not have any points to defend until June this year, and she's already 19 in the world. So it just gives you an understanding of what the next couple of months could do in terms of ranking for her and where she could go. Only the 5th woman, British woman, to break inside the top 20 in the world. And the previous 4 have all made it inside the top 5.
It's incredible what she has done. What we hope she will continue to do. The first qualifier to win a Grand Slam, the first British woman in 44 years to win a Grand Slam singles title, the first since Virginia Wade in 1977.
As Joe Conta made it to number 4 in the world, Joe Jury number 5, Sue Barker number 3, and Virginia Wade number 2. So you got to put money on her, and that number 1 spot, that's empty. Brilliant. It's the comfort that she executes this forehand with, so many margins, just gets under the ball, brings it up and over the net.
love 15.
Well, both will have a first in Australia at the start of next year. They'll both be making their debut in the main draw. Emma Raducanu is the world number 19. Ruse is the world number 85.
I've got a feeling that for Raducanu, no matter how she does in the next 6 months, she'll probably be reflecting on what she was doing 12 months previously and thinking, well, this is great. I'm not in my room studying for my A-levels.
Or my driving test.
There's quite a lot of study for that these days.
Yeah, I think it's different in our day. There's a lot more theory now.
You take a little bit for granted when you're watching Raducanu just how many returns of serve she puts into the court, and it's been something that she's really worked hard on through the years. Return of serve there. It was an excellent serve, but Emma just took the pace off the ball, made sure she made the return, and just doesn't give those free points away.
No, the drop shot set up nicely for Raducanu. She's got the break. Ruse doesn't want to sit down, but she has to. There's the confirmation of the score. She's definitely won herself some new fans, the Romanian. It's been played in such good spirit. She's been a really big part of that. People might say it's because she's a little bit older at 24, but she also doesn't have this experience of playing in this exhibition situation to a full house, but the spirit has been fantastic.
It has, and you know, they played it brilliantly. It was such an intimidating court to walk on to. Obviously, I mean, playing at the Royal Albert Hall, it is a terrific venue, but you're also playing in front of a very, very educated crowd, and you've got a lot of young people there as well, so you want to be able to display all your best qualities, but they both came out, they made a lot of balls in the first 3 games, a lot of consistency, and they relaxed as well, and I think they played some really good tennis throughout the match.
Got a full schedule for you today on finals day. Following this as part of the afternoon exhibition, Mansour Barami will be lining up alongside David Ferrer. Taking on Mikhail Pernfors and Nicholas Almagro. And then the evening session that we're also going to have for you, that is the finals. We have Team Greg Ruzetsky, they are the defending champions, against Team Mark Philippoussis. Done everything right.
And she's done it a couple of times. She's set up the point so well. She's got Emma off balance. And just missed that final execution.
think a big thing to take away from this, there will be people watching, looking at forehands, backhands, positioning of Raducanu, is how, again, she's adapted to the situation, how she's embraced this exhibition, and how she's been playing it.
She doesn't miss that one. I would expect, actually, probably when Emma does her off-court interview after the match, I would expect that she will say that she was very nervous coming onto this court. But again, it's the way in which she deals with those nerves, the composure that she has.
Let's listen. Let's listen.
Lovely bits and pieces that they both take away from this moving into their pre-season. To finish the game.
I just sense that every time Emma hits a forehand winner, she's just sending a little bit of a message out to that ball girl. So that might be the area of weakness.
Oh, thank you for that. She's already made a note to her coach, Ruse, about the first serve, something they need to look at pre-season.
It's an important time, isn't it, for the coach, the pre-season, because you don't actually have a lot of time, probably about 5 weeks from now to really the beginning of the season properly for these players, and add in the fact that in those first couple of weeks you'll be doing an increase in physical training. Emma in particular will be spending a lot more time with her fitness coach, Gareth Shelburne, who she's been with since she was very, very young. He must be pretty proud of himself, as he should be.
Oh, lovely angle found by the Romanian, just to cut it short.
And that relationship, obviously, between the fitness coach and also the coach, that has to be very strong as well, to understand the work that they're doing in the gym and how to complement that off in the court during that pre-season time. So it's an important couple of weeks coming up for the teams of the players, full stop. And a lot of little aspects of their game to continue to develop.
Excellent play from Ruse to turn defence into attack. Close out the game, keep it to just the one breaker serve with which Emma Raducanu, the US Open champion, leads. 4-3 second set. So typically how a pre-season would work is they'll start with the physical side of things and then move on to what they want to work on the court.
Yes, the first couple of weeks will be very much dominated by the fitness coach, really dictating what they're going to do there in that period of time and working very, very hard with the player. But then that then becomes incorporated with the tennis work and the tactical work. And any pre-season can really range from the 5 weeks on, maybe right up to having a longer pre-season, 8 weeks. That feels very long when you're in an 8-week block. But it has to be so well planned and thought of. And I think in Emma's case, that's obviously something that Torben Belts, who's coming on board next week, he may be starting to run those tennis sessions. Certainly in the next couple of weeks, he will have given a great deal of thought to what he wants to bring, to her game this year. And I'm sure he's in very good contact with her fitness coach, Gareth Shelburne, who we don't hear an awful lot about. And he's a guy who's really built Emma up from a very, very young age at Bromley Tennis Academy. And it's very unique, isn't it, that you see a fitness coach starting with a player at such a young age and taking them right to the very top of the game. And there's obviously still a lot more work to be done because she is still so young and so much to develop on that side of her game.
Yeah, just turned 19 this year.
I think Ruse was just asking Emma not to serve into her body, so that's exactly where she served the next serve.
tries to weave her way forward. And a lovely little touch to finish things off.
Yeah, so much strength in executing that backhand. Tim Henman would be proud of that. Backhand smash, the toughest shot in the game to hit.
Again, it's the hands, the soft touch. She wanted a double fault. She didn't get one, but she did end up winning the point.
She is quite funny, isn't she? I have to say. Yeah, she won it emphatically as well with those aggressive ground strokes. Ruthless. He's hitting the corners, Ruse. Very different player, Ruse, when she looks to be hitting the ball and coming forward. It just makes her take that ball a little bit earlier and doesn't give up any court position.
First break point since the 7th game of the first set, when a young man came on and got the break back for the Romanian. Oh, that was a lovely second serve from Raducanu.
And that's the tactical awareness that she has, that knowing that she's been directing those second serves into the body, and the big point being a little bit more aggressive, changing it up. Feels like bread and butter tennis to Ruse, the early return of serve with the inside-out backhand and peppering that corner again.
There's the trademark 1-2 punch off the wide serve. Saves the second break point.
And we see Emma going to her favourite plays on the big points on this side. It's the out wide to the forehand, followed up by the forehand down the line.
There it is.
And even if you know it's coming, there's nothing you can do about it.
Good aggressive play from Ruse. Starting off with the serve.
Make me cry.
Thought she might call out her coach again there. Just didn't quite get that good footwork that Emma was acknowledging in the first point.
I think he's hiding now.
He's still up in hospitality. Much better feet there. Just giving herself a little bit more space to execute the forehand down the line.
A good hold from Elena Gabriela Ruse, who was serving to stay in the match. And very shortly, it will be up to the 19-year-old US Open champion Emma Raducanu to see if she can close out this exhibition against her good friend, so they'll sit next to each other, possibly for the final time. Ruse said that back in 2018 at Wimbledon, she asked Emma Raducanu to play doubles with her, and Emma Raducanu simply replied with, "I can't play doubles."
She doesn't play a lot of doubles, and that's going to be a tough sell for, I guess, Emma in the future to get out there and to play more doubles. I certainly, I hope that she does, because I think it's a great opportunity, not just to have moments like this on the court, because the tour can be a lonely place, but also to develop your game and the net play in particular. She hasn't had to come to the net a lot so far in her career. She's been so successful without having to finish a lot up there, but certainly I'm sure it's something that she'll look to later on. But she hasn't played a lot of doubles, that is true, and whether we see her in the future, well, only time will tell.
Ruse describes Raducanu as one of her best friends on the tour. And we're hoping to see more of each other as they both make their way through the main tour from the upcoming season. Can the Romanian put some pressure on the British number one as Emma Raducanu serves for the match? A lovely little change-up.
She's shown some impressive soft skills, Ruse. When she gets forward and dominates the point, it's very, very difficult to win that point back against her.
You can see just to the side of Emma Raducanu, a couple of members of Team Greg are watching on, and Greg Rosetsky, team captain, and Marcos Bagdatis. They won the title in 2019. Wasn't played, sadly, last year, but they'll be looking to defend it this time around. Their match is taking place in the evening session from 5 o'clock. Emma Raducanu now 2 points from the win in this exhibition match at the Royal Albert Hall. Not for the first time.
Emma won't want to see another one of these drop shots. She's going to have a few of these sprints coming up in the next couple of weeks. But the Romanian has played them to perfection.
Look at the court positioning of Ruse. How up and inside the baseline was she during that point? Opportunity to get us back on serve. So she goes back to her coach, and then she hands her racket to the young lady she's named her coach. She'll have another go. We'll play on, and Ruse is saying, come on, crowd. We're giving you more tennis.
Well, she's been brilliant, hasn't she, throughout the afternoon here, Ruse. She's enjoyed herself on the court, and she's given us a real glimpse of the strengths that she has in her game, in particular the way that she can dominate that baseline and be so aggressive.
Seen that happen a handful of times this afternoon for the Romanian.
That's an aspect of Emma's game that she's developed really over the last year, that slice on both the forehand and the backhand side, and it's a great rhythm breaker. But she's so confident on it now. You can see just how aggressively she plays it. The ball stays so low.
not happy with that miss. The Romanian. So what she does is gift back the break to Emma Raducanu, who very shortly, once again, will have another opportunity to close out the match.
And she's going to want to, on this second opportunity, serving for it, she's going to want to, I think, right now, Emma Raducanu hold her serve here and close out this match. But I'm sure Ruse, as she's sitting beside her in the chair there, she's going to probably try to get in her head a little bit and see can she produce a couple of double faults, or at least give her a chance on some of these returns of serve. That Emma served well today. She served particularly well into the body. She's used that effectively, and the second serve has been aggressive. It's been very, very difficult for her opponent to step in and be aggressive off the Raducanu serve.
Should Ruse be able to turn this set around and close it out, it will then be a champion's tiebreak, first to 10 points. But now the second opportunity to get the job done in the main body of the set, the US Open champion.
Right on the line. And you just see in that last rally, it's a great camera shot there, but when Emma doesn't get the pace on the ball, be aggressive, her opponent is so quickly up to take advantage.
Back to targeting the forehand wing of Raducanu.
And inside the baseline, making it so much easier.
And again, drop shot winner from the Romanian. Brings up break points for the tie-break in the second set.
Again, she's just so astute, isn't she, in understanding where Raducanu's court position was there just before executing that drop shot.
In the second set, and quite possibly the match will be decided in the tie-break.
That was a brilliant game from Ruse. Took the ball a little bit earlier, was much more aggressive.
Gabriela Ruse, whose father's a former football player, mother is a former gymnast. .24 years of age and 85 in the world rankings.
And if there's been an Achilles heel at all in the Ruse performance, it's just been a couple of those finishing balls. Once again, she just set up the point so well there. A little bit more pressure when you know that your opponent is fast and will defend that ball.
She took it early, the second serve, Ruse.
She's starting to read, isn't she, the body serve from Raducanu. I've got a good glimpse there of the squat style defensive ball from Raducanu. She does that so well.
Squat stance defensive style, also something that Torben Belt's former charge Angelique Kerber does to perfection.
It's not an easy skill to have, and it shows the athleticism and the timing that Raducanu possesses, and she's been able to do it actually for a number of years. You know, you could really see it from a young age when somebody has that ability. But yes, of course, Kerber, her strong legs, and how often she's just hugged the baseline in that squat position throughout her career.
Wonderful play back behind from the Romanian.
Yeah, I've loved seeing this play today. The short balls in the service boxes, being able to play with spin and soft hands, executing them. It just gives so much more variety to your game. Not much chat there.
No, there was. I was going to say that's the first time.
Yeah. I'm just looking at that last forehand from Emma, the forehand behind the serve, and the ability to be able to execute that winner, the speed in which she gets behind the ball, almost before the ball's bounced itself. It just gives her so many options.
There's a bit of pre-season running. Just pushing a little bit much on the second serve. Let's open the door now for Raducanu.
Superb anticipation there from Emma Raducanu. And there's that slice forehand, excuse me, yet again. Dominant performance so far in this tiebreak.
Now the ball on her racket, the chance to close out the match. And there it is. Game, set, and match for US Open champion Emma Raducanu in her first match on British soil since winning the US Open. She defeats her good friend Elena Gabriela Ruse in straight sets, 6-3, 7-6, with smiles all round.
And it was clear she wanted to stay out there for more tennis. Both of them did. That was a quality 2 sets of tennis, and for Emma Raducanu, her homecoming, it couldn't have gone much better than that.
We're going to be hearing from them very shortly. Andrew Castle will be carrying out the on-court interview. What a wonderful opportunity for the crowd to see the players. And here is your host, Andrew Castle.
We'll see where they are. And you can, I don't want either of you to get injured, okay? But you trade there, but my brother's up there, so if you wouldn't mind trying to get up to the very top. You don't have a pen yet. Where's the pen? Oh, listen, hold on. We've got a pen. And we'll open doors for them and we'll make sure everything is perfect for them both, right? Chuck me a pen. Thanks, mate. You've got the same touch that I have. Thank you. Is it a permanent marker? Oh, they've got them now. Great. Okay, watch yourself. All right, does anybody want a signed tennis ball? How much are you charging for these? Are they free? Oh, they're free. Okay, well, it's a happy Christmas to somebody. Won't be a second. I shall have a chat with Emma in a minute. Okay, all done. It's quite a long name, Elena Gabriela. Okay, here we go. Emma, don't forget the poor people at the top. Is that it? Okay, great. What were you aiming for?
I was aiming for you.
Can you little girl not lean over too much? You're making us a bit nervous. Em, here, there's some more. Do you want to try and aim at her? You're normally very accurate. Okay, don't worry, it's coming. She promised. You want to give that? Wonderful. How far can you throw that? Come on, you two. Okay, last ones. Maybe you should hit a backhand, Em. Okay. Don't lean over. Oh, yeah, absolutely. shot. Nice. Was that your family? Is that your lot? Oh, okay. All right. Last couple. Blimey, that's a bit violent. Okay. So, Elena, Gabriela, thank you very much. I'm just going to interview Emma now. Thank you so much. Very good. Yeah, do whatever you want. Emma. Yes, that's wonderful. Here, Emma, that's yours. Okay. Join me here. The cameras need to, if you wouldn't mind standing somewhere around there. That's
Gabby
absolutely
as well,
wonderful. That's great. Now,
Gabby!
no, well, do you know, it's you know, if it's okay, you know, yes, I mean, we love watching you play, but, I mean, now I sound, now I, oh, give over. Elena, Gabriela, Ruse. Well played. She'll only be 5 minutes or so. Emma, well played. How was it playing in front of a crowd at the Royal Albert Hall? Welcome home.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was amazing to play at home in front of everyone here. I felt it straight from the minute I walked out. It was an incredible atmosphere, and yeah, I really enjoyed playing here. So thank you all for coming very much.
Did you used to come here and watch tennis? You know, like watching the old guys' tennis?
Yeah, it's funny, when I was maybe 6 years old, I was up there. I couldn't see the ball or the players because it was like this big, but I came and watched, and my dad took me here to watch the singles matches, but all I wanted to see was Barami hold 5 balls in his hand, so it's really cool. Yesterday I got the opportunity to hit with him, so yeah, it's pretty surreal that I get to play on the same courts that I once watched growing up.
Well, Mansour is coming up in a few minutes' time. We're looking forward to it. Listen, how was your holiday, by the way?
Yeah, it was really good, actually. 6 days, I just completely switched off, and I started my pre-season this week on Tuesday, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of fitness and not so much tennis, so I was a bit nervous coming out to play in front of everyone here.
It didn't look nervous. You looked completely in control of it. I'm glad that you had a nice holiday. It's been quite a year, hasn't it? Do you remember what you were doing this time last year?
Yeah, it is pretty surreal. I mean, I remember my birthday last year. I was at home. I think it was one of the lockdowns, or if not, I was just at home. I wasn't playing, and it's pretty amazing how everything changed in 1 year. So it just shows, like, you keep plugging away at your own work and not looking around and staying focused, and anything can happen.
And what are the plans now? How long does the training block last for?
So right now I'm doing a pre-season and working hard on my fitness. As you can tell, I need to work on my sprints to the net as I was getting drop shotted. But yeah, so I'm doing that, and then I'm heading out to the Middle East to finish my pre-season, and then on Christmas out there and flying to Australia from there on the 27th.
So that's the next goal, is the Australian Open. Your strike rate in Grand Slam championships is quite good. Played 2-1-1. It's absolutely, and the other one was 4th round at Wimbledon. It's been a surreal time. What has been the most surreal moment that you've had?
In the Grand Slam? Or?
Yeah, just off the court, on the court, anything, because your life has changed so much.
I think that the moment I landed the ace on match point is probably the best moment of my life, because it was that one moment of disbelief, and I've just done it, and I didn't quite know what it was, but it was incredible, and I was just speechless, but I had an amazing time out there. But for me, I think playing here in Wimbledon, the third round, I think was the biggest match of, for me, I feel like it was the turning point where I felt like, oh my God, I can actually be competitive here. And that moment, that crowd, that home support I felt out there, it was an incredible experience.
And have you spoken to Leylah Fernandez, who you beat in the US Open final, since you beat her?
We saw each other in America, and after the match, actually, we saw each other in the changing rooms, and yeah, she was very friendly, so very great opponent, and it was an incredibly tough match. So for her to be having a conversation after losing such a tough match like that, I thought was really big of her, and yeah, I really respect her.
And given that life changed in that moment after the ace was served, I mean, most people qualify, win a round or two if they do very well, but you went ahead and won it without dropping a set. It was kind of ridiculous and mad. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant to watch. I was just watching on the TV, but it was fantastic. How have your friends dealt with your success? Because on a very profound level, everything changes, including how people see you, including friends, right?
It was amazing. I've been actually a bit busy, so I haven't been able to really hang out with them so much. But when I saw them again, like a couple are here today, and it's very nice just to have that conversation, go to the same places that you used to go, and yeah, it's just really, really cool. And but I have my parents who still, like, they were telling me off yesterday morning, big time. So I mean, nothing changes.
What did you do wrong?
I said I was tired.
And which one told you off? Both?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just on you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. They're never going to let you fly too high. So I think I saw you were in Bromley High Street in like some tea shop having a chat with this new coach, and people follow you with cameras the whole time now. How are you coping with the attention? I hope you're enjoying it. You seem great.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just going about my business. Like, I'm taking the train in sometimes and doing the same journeys I used to, because for me, I feel like I'm the exact same person, and I'm just going to go about everything I used to do. I don't see why I should change things that got me that title. So, yeah, I'm just still enjoying what I'm doing.
Clearly, you're very comfortable with the microphone in your hand. Have you prepared a speech for when you win BBC Sports Personality?
No, I mean, definitely not. I'm rooting for Lewis in the race, so.
That's another one you've spoken to, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's been such a good role model for me in terms of, just helping me out and through these next stages. So he's a really cool person, and yeah, it's very close right now in the race, 8 points. So we'll see.
8 points in the sports personality race, or F1? You're not monitoring the votes, are you? Well, there are so many exciting things ahead. Sorry, are you here for Christmas or are you away? Oh no, you're going to head away. The very best of luck in what's the next year? 2022. It all goes so fast, doesn't it? We seem to sort of lose track. What are your expectations, lastly, for next year?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for me, my expectations of myself are just to keep improving, and I want to look back at the end of the year and see that I made gains in any sort of area, and I know that for me it's going to take a lot of patience to get to where I want to be and smooth out that consistency. So I think that's probably the biggest goal, but it's just building robustness physically, and it'll be my first calendar year on the tour, so it will be a cool experience to have and play a full schedule, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to learning, and I'm still quite young, so yeah, we'll learn and get better.
Well, you're the youngest in the top 20, I think the only teenager. The very best of luck, Emma. We've enjoyed the run that's got you here so far and all your successes. We don't expect great success every time. Please enjoy yourself, and every ball that you hit may be a good one. It was wonderful to watch you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Raducanu.
Thank you so much.
So Emma will sign a few autographs most probably. I think there's a press conference a little bit later on.